Some probably, because let's face it, I think that the English part of me, and it's only a belief, is incredibly English rural, and so there's a good chance, that they came passing through, If somebody watching this programme would like to ring me up and discuss it from the Romany Gypsy Representative Council, I'd be pleased to hear from them. But the truth of the matter is that I'm not a member of their community.
Four days after receiving her results, Jane Phillips threatened us with legal action, claiming the DNA tests were unreliable and her results were inaccurate. My journey round England is almost over. And so far, DNA testing has revealed that however English you think you are, you could have ancestors originating from as far afield as Turkey, Africa, and even China. I am now going to meet a man who, for the last 30 years, has been an arch opponent of multicultural Britain.
Multiculturalism is a divisive force. One can't uphold two sets of ethics or be loyal to two nations.
One Labour MP has asked the Home Secretary to prosecute Mr Tebbit for inciting racial hatred.
Former Conservative Party chairman, Lord Tebbit, agreed to submit a sample of his DNA for testing.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
In the global DNA test, he came out as 100% European.
About which there's not much to say, other than that you are a typical European. Now, if we go to your Euro DNA, that comes out at 69% Northern European, 31% Southeastern European, 0% Middle Eastern, and 0% South Asian. And what our chap said is on this test, in many ways, you come out as very standard, very average. Your North European score is bang on our average. Your Southeast European is a third more than the average, whereas your South Asian and Middle Eastern scores are way below the average. And one possible explanation, he added, is that of all our sample, your ancestors did the least travelling and moving about the globe, the least mixing. But you could say that your ancestors did not get on their bikes.
Well, my father only ever went out of Britain to go to France in the 1418 war. And like Willie Whitelaw, he decided he didn't like abroad and stayed at home after that. My mother never even went as far as Scotland.
Our genetic expert added that mixture is good, and yours, while typical in some respects, is very limited, very restricted in his spread. In fact, he actually described your DNA profile as boring.
Before my journey is over, I have two more sets of results to deliver. The first set is for Damon Barks, who's joining the army because he wants to restore England's former glory.
The European results are 59% Northern European, 20% South Asian, 18% Southeastern European, and 3% Middle Eastern. Now again, if I think it's helpful if I interpret that a bit with the help of our man, and he said this is the typical DNA profile of someone who lives in Russia or the Ukraine. He said he'd never guessed that this was a typical Englishman or North European that he was looking at the DNA.
Awesome. That is surprising. I'm not disappointed or anything. I'm just really, really surprised with that. I mean, look at that. I've got DNA spread from, well, at least a quarter of the globe. So, quite a lot there.
Does it make you look at the globe in a different...
It does. It certainly brings all these places closer together, as it were. You know, that they all seem so far away. I mean, even the Ukraine, Belarus, it does look